Hey, what's up everybody? It's Omar. It is Saturday, February 24th, 8:57 a.m. in the morning, and I want to make a video reviewing my 3 plays from yesterday and show you my watch list for Monday with potential entries and exits. Again, guys, because I get a lot of questions about this, I'm on Twitter as watchotrade. All right. Make sure, I think there's a way where you can set it up so that every time I post, you get an alert. I think it's worth doing it because those days that I'm home, I'll like working from home, I'll like post trades, letting you know what I'm looking at. And like for example, I gave everybody I was talking about CHK. It never broke below 306. So, but the big one I gave everybody was Will, and I'll talk about that in a moment. And I'm also on if you type watch or trade, this is my YouTube channel. Guys, everything that you need is here because I get the same questions again and again. The indicators that I use on my chart are listed in this video. You can watch. If you go to Momentum Trading Fundamentals, this will give you 11 videos. Think of it like a course to just learn how to trade. All 11 videos. Watch the videos, okay? And people ask me, hey, how do I build my watch list? Well, here's a video on how to build a watch list. People ask, hey, how do I create my custom scanners? Here's the video on how to do it. Hey, Omar, how do you do virtual trading, paper trading? How does that all set up? Well, here's a video on do it. Come on, guys, it's all there. Do the work. It's all there. So I'm just gonna direct everybody here from now on. Just go to the videos. All right. So with that said, let's talk about the stock. So Hertz was the first stock I took a short on. So I did not post a video Thursday night for Friday, but if you guys watch me, I have my key support and resistance levels. I set one for the higher day, which was just Thursday 2164. Then it had a key support level here 2050. So it kind of pulled back and held at 2050 at the close. So I was really interested in this stock because 2050 is a psychological resistance barrier, and I wanted to see which way it was going to go to take either long or short risking off that. So the market opens, and I'm watching the price action. Hertz kind of gapped up pre-market and then just started tanking, and I was tempted. It broke below here, gapped up and broke. I was tempted to take a short here. I didn't. I didn't pull the trigger. I kind of wanted to see what was gonna happen, and I was kind of bummed because I saw it starting to tank, and then I was like, shit, this is gonna start moving. This is probably gonna keep tanking, and I missed my short. But then it started gapping up, and it kind of consolidated here. And what I liked about it was that it so remember, this is the high of day at this point in the morning. So, and then you have a lower high here. So what is that showing? It's showing you there's weakness, right? It found support here, right? But I see it gap up. It's not getting back to the previous high. It's consolidating, and then it's starting to sell. So when I saw that there was some weakness going on here, and people were potentially gonna short it. And sure enough, right here at 2050, it holds. You got that little pop, and that is just a sign of clear weakness. And right in this next candle, I took a short. Very simple. I took a short. I just took my short entry was 29.48, 2,000 shares. And I just rolled this bad boy down. I just wrote it down. I saw it broke this key support level here. So I was like, shit, maybe this is going to continue to tank. But it found support here at the 2006 mark. It didn't break 20. And, it started gapping up. So once so I watched, I just let it do it. I was watching other stocks, and I had this just on watch, seeing what it was going to do. And because I wanted to see how it was going to react to the 2024 level. I saw it touched it, but it didn't, the candle didn't get above it. So I just kept holding. And then, kind of, tanked again. But when I saw that this double bottom sort of formed, you see how now you have a double bottom. So it's a clear support level, 2009. That's when I was like, all right, I'm concerned. And I just covered right into this candle, like these two candles. I think I got executed. All my shares are like 20, I think it was like 2017 or something like that. Yeah, so it was a nice trade. All right, so that was my first trade. Okay, and you see I'm just playing on support and resistance, guys. It's not rocket science. And in theory, I should have went long. I mean, once I know this formed this clear double bottom, I should have took it long. I should have known better, and that would have been a great entry to go long, reverse my position, and I could have banked. But I was more interested in Will. So let's talk about my second trade, Will. Go back here, bring this up, pin it. All right, good. So my second trade was on Will, and if you can see, I actually posted it on Twitter in real time, so you can see. All right, and you can see the time. I think when I first posted my first, where is it? Right here. So I said, yeah, I said, will testing key level if it can't hold 28.94, short it if it can go long, right? So here's the support level that I posted, right? And in that next, then I put, Will still showing weakness, stalking like a sniper if it can't hold 20.94, go, right? Because it was like gapping up, it was like consolidating, and then there she goes, you know. Then I posted it right when it started tanking. So let's review that trade, and I posted it right before the big tank. So so I'm watching Will, right, and I see that it gapped up, it broke to a new high, 29.99. Here, let me put on the big chart. Sorry about that, guys. Right, so I see it gapping up, and then I see, you know, here's the wash, and I'm kind of watching it here, right, to see what it's gonna do. And then you know, once I saw it break below it and right above it here, you see how it taps the 50-day simple moving average. It did it, and you got the pop. Here's a lower high. That's showing a lot of weakness. So for me, right in this candle, once I saw it start breaking down here, I took it short right in this candle. So I literally, once it broke 28.94, I got executed like at 28.93, and I just took it short. Now I did get concerned because, you know, initially it pulls back, right, and it finds support 28.93, and all these people that probably were shorting it here covered. So in theory, I mean, I could have exited. I could have took the loss because, you know, it did gap up and break this previous high over here, 29.07. But I said, you know what, I'm gonna watch to see what it's gonna do. And me personally, I want to risk higher day. So I was risking higher day. Okay, I was risking higher day when I got in. You know, but I did get a little concerned when it started, you know, forming higher lows, and then it gapped up. But it gapped up and it couldn't really. Then I felt better because it didn't hold above 29.07, and you see it got this pop, but it couldn't break above the 29.07. So that kind of gave me some, all right, let me breathe a little, let's see what's gonna happen. And sure enough, you know, it consolidated, and then it came back, tested at 20.94, and there, that was it. Once it couldn't hold it, that was it. It bounced off the previous low of the day, 29, and then it just continued to tank. And I just watched this collapse, and I was in 2,000 shares, and I was just very, very happy with my trade, as you could say the least. You know, it came down all the way. I just literally watched this tank all the way back down. Once it broke below, I wanted to see it broke below the previous day's close price. It got to a low of 27.91. Now I had because the support, the next level of support, right, there was a support here, 28.87, which it literally touched off of, right? So I already had an alert set there. So when I saw that touch it, like, it's crazy how support and resistance works. It literally touched that, right? It started gapping back up. It broke above. I didn't cover. I was being very greedy, and I should have. But I continued to watch, and then it came back down, and then retested that area again. And then in this, I covered at like at the break of 28. I think like 28.04. I covered. So, you know, really, really nice. Almost a whole $1 I got on that. I was above $1 at one point. You know, I got greedy. I could have made over $2 grand total on that trade, but I made close to $2 grand. So, you know, really, really nice trade on Will. You know, and in theory, you know, it would have been a good dip buy because it tested this level twice, and that is a great sign that this is a new clear support level. And I could have reversed my position and went long, but I was working. So, you know, I'm working and trying to trade. It's very, very difficult, and I had a lot going on. So, you know, so I should have, but, you know, my mind is in 1,000 places, and it would have been a fantastic reverse, but that's fine. I was fine with that. Then, you know, I wasn't planning on trading. I was happy with my wins. You know, I'm up over $3 grand for the day, and I'm feeling good. And then the last close towards the close, you know, I was watching other stocks. Like I think I posted, I was looking to see if CHK was gonna tank. I had posted because I saw it was at this clear support level that I had of 306. And the reason why I was kind of tempted to look at it is because if you, let's pull up the chart, see if it I felt like if it couldn't hold 306, you see it has clear support here and here, that, you know, there is some support here at 299, but I felt like if it didn't hold 306, I felt like maybe it was just gonna completely tank and come back down and test the 260 level. But it held it, and I didn't talk about dip buying it. I just talked about potentially shorting it. I should have talked about potentially dip buying it because, you know, it held and it was a nice dip buy opportunity. But I didn't. But what I did buy was I have all these indicators, and if you watch the video on YouTube, I have all of them. This one isn't on there. It's called a simple 200 crosses VWAP indicator. So what it is the way you build it. It's pretty simple. You go to scans, you know, and you can watch my video on how this all sets up, but I'm just gonna load it to show you. Personal simple 200 crosses VWAP. So, you know, you put your price, like what stocks you want to look at, the range. So I have 20 cents, between 20 cents and $50 at a minimum of 500,000 shares. So what you do is when you go to study, you got to go to custom and you click on the little pencil. And when you go to the pencil, you go to this condition piece. So all I did was I put the simple 200 moving average crosses VWAP. See, simple 200 crosses, simple SMA from 200 crosses. I think that's what I'm sorry guys, I know I'm sounding all confused right now, but simple 200, yeah, it's just a simple 200. All I did was I took the simple 200 and I just put crosses, and I didn't put anything there, just one bar, and then I hit save. And then what that does is it'll show you stocks that are crossing above or below the 200 moving average. That's all it is. So with that, I was filtering with my volume, and this stock came up. So let me pull up today's watch list for Monday. NIHD popped up here. I don't know if it's still there. Let's see. It's not there now, but NIHD popped up. It actually popped up in my scan here, and when it popped up, it was right about here, 86 cents, and it looked like it was forming, like it was running all day, and you can see the consolidation. So I you know, I still have my brokerage account. I had an E-Trade account open, and when I saw this break above it and kind of pull back and form this flag, right when I saw it, right in this candle, I jumped in. So I got executed like 90 point something cents, and I just rolled this up really quickly. And this was like the end of the day. It was just gapping up. I saw the volume form coming in. There was just a lot of volume coming in, and I just literally just rolled it up, rolled it up, and then once it broke $1, I just sold my shares. Now I felt like it was gonna squeeze after hours, but you know, it's okay. I was comfortable. So nice little trade. I took a 5,000 share position, so it was nice. You know, got 10 cents on that. So quick, you know, little $500. So that was nice. So you know, that was those were my trades. All right. So those were my trades, guys. You know, so and you know, these scanners again, I have them all in my video, but basically what I do now more than ever is just really focus on my watch list. I know that I tend to do way better with my trades when I focus on my watch list as opposed to just seeing what's popping on a scanner in real time and placing trades. You know, I try not to do that as much anymore. I'll still do it, but not as much anymore. I really try to focus on my watch list, unless all the stocks on my watch list suck. You know, sometimes, you know, I'll have a lot of duds on them too that have really no volume, you know, but there's always gonna be like one or two that are really gonna do well. All right. So with that, this is my watch list for Monday. Okay. And the way, watch the video. The video talks about, you know, if you go here, how to build my watch list. But if you go back, honestly, guys, if you go back and watch my videos from last year, like when I would build my watch list videos back in like January of last year, I used to build everything from scratch. That's why if you go and look at the videos, like they're 38 minutes, 30 minutes, because I would like literally look for stocks and just build them in real time. That's how I used to do it. you know, so you can get a lot of value. Don't not watch these videos, because I provide a lot of education on, like, I used to really go into a lot of depth of, like, when I would place the trade and all this depth, you know. So watch them, you know, and take notes, you know, and you can ask me questions, and you can see how I evolved as a trader over time. Like, I don't use these indicators no more. See, I used to have all these shitload of indicators. I stopped using them. You don't need them. Any trader that you know is making shitload of money, the majority of them don't really use indicators. They use the simple moving averages and VWAP for the most part. All right. So with that said, let's talk about Monday. So first stock on my watch list is NIHD, and basically what I do, guys, is let me pull up. Sorry. You know, you can go to FinViz, and you know, you can, if you don't want to run a nightly scan, you can just go to FinViz, and this is what I do. You can create your own criteria, but I look for stocks under $50 up 3% with over $1 million volume. Sometimes I change it. Sometimes I put it to 5%. Sometimes I put it to 1%. Sometimes I look for stocks over $100. It just really depends. And then when I'm looking at these charts, I'm looking at the green candle for the day to see if it's up. If the green candle is up for the day, you know, I'll potentially look at it to see, and then I go look at the chart. That's pretty much all I do. You know, so for example, like NIHD, this is a stock that would be on my watch list, because look at the candles, a lot of volume, so you're gonna think it's gonna be volatile one day. FNGN, MOSY, those are stocks that you would look at. SNR, because look at the candles. PLNT, all right, look at that, a lot of volume. TVS, so you look at them. Fate, like, you go look at these charts, and then you see whether or not you want to put them on your watch list. So NIHD, right, absolutely going to be on the watch list. You know, this stock, it averages 813,000 shares traded a day. It had 15 million shares traded, which is pretty remarkable. You know, so a lot of volume, and we have our key support and resistance levels for Monday. This and probably X are going to be the most traded stocks, I think, Monday. You know, right now, after hours, it hit a high of 113. So you know the drill. If it breaks above 113 and it can hold it, meaning it breaks above it, pulls back, tests that area or close to it, holds it, I'm going to take it long. Or if it gaps up, pulls back and forms a higher low, and it runs again, I'm going to take it long. Okay. If it can't hold 113, I'm going to short it. If I could find the shares, remember, these are harder to find shares because they're low price stocks. You need like Interactive Brokers or Centerpoint. Sometimes E-Trade has them. You think of Swim, barely ever. Like 90%, 98% chance that it's not going to be available. They just are not great for shorting. Not as good as some of the other brokerages. Next level below it is 98 cents. So if it can hold 98 cents, I would dip buy it. If it can't, I could short, risking off that level. Next level below that, key support level is 80 cents. 80 cents is, to me, is a really key support level, because there's a lot of support here at 80. So if it can hold 80, that's probably going to be a great place to dip buy if it tanks. You know, if it can't hold 80, then you take a short, risking off 80. The next key level support, that's 65 cents. If it holds 65 cents, you can dip buy it off that level. If not, you can short, risking off 65. And then, you know, it's been in this 55 cent range. Now, when I look at the chart history, so this is the history over the last year, you know, it's been as high as 215, but it doesn't really, it's not known, at least over the last year, to have big green days. As you can see, it has very little volume, and it doesn't have multiple big green days. So because of that, I would guess that Monday this is going to give a lot of it back. We'll see. I don't know what caused it to move. I would have to look at the news. I don't really look at the news all the time. A lot of times I just trade the technical chart. Next up is MOSY. MOSY is up 23%, so it had a big move. Now, MOSY is a stock that I've traded before, and it does potentially have big moves. So, like, for example, on this day, this was on June 7th last year, it went from 89 cents to $1.94. Okay, and then it hit a low of 86 and closed at 185. So, you know, this is a stock, when it has room, you can see it has days where it'll move. Like the next day, it opened up at 134, hit a high of 180. So, you know, with the volume there, it can move. So Monday, you know, there's potential there because it's up, it's holding its highs that it can move at, spike at the open. So we're looking at these key levels. If it can break above 194 and hold, we'll take it long. If it can't, we'll short, risking off that level. If it can hold 180, if it breaks down to 183 and holds, you can dip buy it, risking off 183. Otherwise, you can short it, risking off 183. And then the next key level below that is 165. It can hold 165. You dip by it there. Otherwise, you can short it or just, you know, not pay attention to it if it doesn't look good to you. Because, you know, there is a lot of support in this 150 level. So, you know, so if it breaks below 165, you should look to cover 150 because it'll probably hold. But we'll see. You know, if the volume's there, you place the trade. If there's no volume, you know, if it's, you know, you don't need to look at it. But these are the key levels. Okay. Next up is CVEO. CVEO. The only one reason why the stock is on my watch list today, because over the last year, its high has been 381. Well, it hit a high of 380, and it retraced back to 374. Like, this is shitty and choppy, and it would be hard to get executed because there's not a lot of volume. But I'm assuming that people are gonna be looking at this like I'm looking at this. They're like, oh shit, wait a minute, this may be a yearly breakout if it can get above 381. So with that said, I'm just looking at this stock for one potential entry. If it can break and hold 381, the yearly high, I'm going to take it long because other buyers are probably going to buy too because it's going to hit their scanners and they're going to say, oh shit, there's a new yearly breakout. And if they see it holds, they're going to buy. Now, if it gaps up, let's say it goes back to 4 and it pulls back down to 380 and can't hold it, then I'll probably short it. Okay. So that's it. That's the key level I'm looking at. I mean, in theory, you do have other support areas, like you have support here at 373, and then you have some more support here at 369. But I don't care. It's not enough volumes, you know, for me to trade. That's the only area I'm looking at, 381. Next up, AKS. The reason why this is on my watch list because after hours, Trump said that he's potentially thinking about putting a tariff on steel imports. And that caused X and AKS and all the steel companies to just rip after hours. So because of that, my expectation is maybe Monday this will be volatile. So we'll see if the news is bullshit and it, you know, this is probably gonna, or X and AKS is gonna tank. But in the event it does move, let me put up a 5-day chart. I have my key level set. So I have 614, which is the high, all right, over the last week. Is if it breaks above that, I'll potentially long it if it starts moving. The key resistance level here is 591 too. If it can break above 591 and hold, I may potentially go long. But remember, be careful at that $6 area because, you know, $6 is a whole number and you do have some resistance up here too. So just be careful of that. But if it can't hold it 570, I'm gonna take it short, risking on 570 because it's a clear support level. Now, this is to me the big test. If for whatever reason this stock is bullshit, it gets back down to 546. 546 is a key support level, as you can see here. 546. If it can't hold if it holds 546, you can buy the dip. But if it can't hold it, this thing is gonna freaking tank all the way back down to $5. All right. So AKS could be a potential great trade Monday if the news is shitty and this gives back all those after hour gains. We'll see what happens, but if it can break below 546, take it short and go with size because there's always a lot of volume with this stock and you get executed real fast. All right, so we'll see. Next up, WPG. WPG, you know, it's been on a tear from 540 up to 686. I don't want to say tear, just slowly grinding up. Let's say that. And you know, we have some key support and resistance levels to potentially trade. You know, it's up volume. It almost doubled its volume, its average volume. So that's why I'm looking at it. And it you know, 686 is the high. You know, and you know, if it could break above it and hold it, I would take it long. If not, I would short risking off that. If it could hold 664, I could potentially buy the dip. If not, I can short off that. And then the key here is 650. If it goes 650, it'd probably be a great dip buy. Otherwise, you can short it to about that 630, get like 30 cents. You know, and people say 30 cents. Well, 30 cents could be a lot or a little. There's a lot of volume. A lot of these big traders that you see on Twitter, the reason why they make big money is because they take 5,000, 10,000 share positions. And when the more shares you have, you know, the more profit, the more loss potentially too. But you know, when you do that, you gotta have a broker that executes you fast. I would say, you know, go with I think Interactive Brokers Centerpoint is the best for like executions. They are phenomenal. Like they're expensive, but they're worth it if you're a trader who's gonna take more size and you want to scout. because you get executed so fast. They're lightning fast, so they're worth the money. So once you get a big boy account, that's my advice. Either go with, if you're gonna be scalping and taking big size, go with Centerpoint or Interactive Brokers. All right, next is OAS. OAS is up. It's a petroleum stock. I've traded this several times. I've taken this like swing trade and made like 2-3 points off this, because OAS is one of those stocks that when it moves in points. If you notice, 2 days ago it was at 778, now it's at 882, right? Over a dollar. Now, if you look at the history, when it moves, like for example, this day it went from 861 to 905. The next day it went from 905 to 932. Then it went from 921 to 949. Then went 966 to 1027. This day went from 1034 to 1112. So it can, it can move. So we're gonna look at that key level. If it breaks above 832 and holds, we're gonna take it long, right? Because this will definitely break over 9. Now, if it pulls back and holds, because there's a key support level 854. If it holds 854, you can buy the dip. Otherwise, you can take it short. Now, just be mindful. There is some support below here, 850. So really, 850 is where you really want to be really mindful of. 850. If you can hold 850, that's where you could potentially buy it. If it can't hold 850, you could potentially see this dip back to like 819 and potentially back to 7. So be on the lookout. OAS, I think, depending on where oil is on Monday, you could see a potential move. If oil's moving, this is gonna move, and it'll be a good trade Monday. ERF is up. Had this big green day. 1.47 million shares traded. Average is 1.3. So usually about as average, but had a nice move up 9%. But I like the chart because you have this clear channel. So if it could break and hold above 1151, I take it long. If it pulls back to 1135 and holds, I take it, dip buy it. Otherwise, I'll short it. And then, next, there's support here, but I think it gets back to 11, which is nice. So, you get like 35 cents potentially. And if it can't hold 11, this thing will get back down to 1174. So if it can hold 11, you can dip buy it there. Otherwise, if it doesn't, you can short it, risking off 11. And then potentially dip buy it at 1047. If not, you can short it, risking off that level. But just be mindful there's support here at 1066. So, so this is a good chart to potentially trade. Next up, BB, BlackBerry. So BlackBerry, this is a stock with news. It tends to move. It probably had some news. I don't know. I haven't checked the news, but I like the technicals on the chart because it's in this channel. So if it could break above 1266, I take it long. It has to hold 1266, and I take it long. If not, if it gets to this area, can't hold it, short it. Next area is 1251. Really, when we say 1251, we want to say, because technically it held support at 1251, but remember 1250 is the key. It's the whole number. So if it can hold 1251, 1250, buy the dip. Otherwise, short it, risking off that level. Next key level below that is 1242. If it can hold 1243, 1242, you could potentially dip buy it there. Otherwise, short it. And then you have some support here at 1226 and then way back down. But if it has news and the news is good, then maybe it keeps running come Monday. Maybe people take some profit at the open and it just continues on upward. We'll see. I mean, it had a green day here, red day here, green day. We'll see what happens. I mean, when it moves, it can move. You see here, it's had days where it moves, so we'll see. Next up, VNDA. I like this because this is very simple to trade. Not a stock that I normally would trade, but because of the chart, I like it. 1.2 million shares traded. Up. Up above its average volume at 1.2. It's normally 530,000 shares. What I like about this is very simple. If it breaks and holds, now this is why I really love this trade, this stock. Well, for one, I mean, it's been on a tear. It's had 5 green days. It's due for a big red day. I don't know if that's going to be Monday, but if it can hold, 18.99 is the yearly high. So if it can hold above 18.99, meaning $19, take it long because it's going to rip, all right? Because it's going to hit everybody's scanners. Now, if it can't hold that area, you can short risking off 18.99, 18.95, and then the next key level is 18.45. So if it can't hold 18.45, then guess what's going to happen? This thing's going to tank. And you can get about $1 a share shorting this, all right? Taking it short. So let's see what happens Monday, one way or the other. 2 simple entries, all right? That's why I like the chart, like the technicals. Next up is MOMO. MOMO is one of these stocks when it's dead, and when it runs, it runs. So right now it's running again. So it's been on this move again. It does have a gap to fill below, right? So, but you know, it moved. It probably had some news. So it's 35.90 was the high. So we know the drill, right? If it breaks above 35.90 and holds, take it long. Otherwise, short, risking off that level. And really, you want to watch out for 36 because it's a whole number. So you can hold 36. You know, you definitely want to. Then you can take it long. Otherwise, you can short it. Next key level below that though is 34.60. So that's the next level I would potentially look at this trade to a potential either dip buy or I'm gonna short it, risking off 34.60 if you can't hold it. Can't hold it. The next key level here of support to me is around this 34.11 area. So I would look at 34.11 for a potential dip buy. Otherwise, I would you know, take it long if I could dip buy. Otherwise, I could short it. And then if it breaks below that, I think potentially this thing can get back to 32.06. Now, if it gets back to 32.06, right, which was that pre-market low on Thursday, I mean yesterday, then, you know, look for a potential dip buy there. Meaning, and really when at that, think about $32, the whole area. You could take it for a dip buy. If it doesn't hold, then you could take it short. And, you know, it does have a gap to fill below. The gap to fill below is that 32.06 level. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what's gonna happen if it has a red day, pulls back. 32.06 will be key for a potential dip buy. If it can't hold it though, lights out. This thing will get back to $30. I think, at least. I think, you know, it does have support here at 31 and 30. So we'll see. Next up, PLNT, Planet Fitness. I hate Planet Fitness. I would love to short this Monday. It does have a gap to fill below. You know, it's at its yearly high. 31.47 is the yearly high. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. If it breaks above it and holds, it's ride it long. You know, if it right now it's holding this 36.47 level. So I want to see what it's gonna do. If it pulls back to that 36.47 level and holds, I will dip buy it. If not, I short it, risking off that level. And the next key level below that is 35.91. So if it can hold 35.91 or let's say $36, potentially buy the dip, otherwise short it. And then last but not least, 35.03. If it can hold 35.03, which is this where I get 35.03 from? Let me look at it. I was probably looking at where did I get oh, right here. That's why. It was actually low as 35.06. I put 35.03. Oh yeah, this stock here is 35. Actually, let me change this. Let's say 35. So we're gonna X this out. We're gonna change this to 35. I'm gonna go edit properties, and I'm gonna put 35 bucks. And I'm gonna create an alert. I'm gonna say at 35. We're gonna say potential dip buy. Potential dip buy at 35 or short breakdown. And that's what I do, guys. It's, you know, Thinkorswim is fantastic. I don't have to have 10 tickers on a monitor because I get alerted every time I have a stock with a key level that I'm looking at. All right, so those are the, and then the last so at 35. So if it holds 35, buy the dip, otherwise short it. Now the last but not least is X. You know, again, this is moving because of what I said, Trump's tariff. So it ripped after hours, and right now we're looking at these key levels. So, all right, if it can hold 45.95 is the high after hours. If it can hold 45.95, meaning if it really technically just think of 46. If it can hold $46, take it long. If it can't hold $46, short, risking on 46. And then if you did, you can ride it. I think it's, if it does break 46, I think it's gonna potentially retest this 46.82 high. And you know, if the news is good and that tariff stuff is true, then expect it to break 46.82 Monday and run. Otherwise, if the news was bullshit, then you know what I would be looking to do is see what it does when it breaks back down to that 44.90 level. Can't hold it, short it, risking off that. And then the next level below that is 44 bucks. So if it can hold 44 bucks, buy the dip, otherwise short it, risking off that. Next key support level here is 43.39. If you can hold 43.39, you could potentially dip by there, otherwise short it. And the next key level below that is 42.50, which is this level right here. So if you go 42.50, you can buy the dip. Otherwise, you can short it, risking on 42.50. So this is gonna move big, either one way or the other. If the news was true, it's gonna rip. If the news was false, it's gonna tank. That's at least my guess. But if you look at the stock, it's a flag pattern forming here. So you see how there's a flag, so that's a bullish sign. So potentially, you know, this thing could move and break above 46.82 Monday. I think this will be the biggest traded stock, especially if the news is true. Then you can see a big move come Monday. All right. So those are the stocks on my watch list, guys. And you know, if I go to Market Watch, these are all my alerts that are active. Like I just have alerts for all types of stocks here. You see, and then what it does, it has a Market Watch where a market message center. So what it does, it'll alert me. See, every time a stock hits. Let me detach this. So what it does, it alerts me every time a stock hits one of those levels, and then it goes to my phone too, and it pings me, so I can just pull up the stock. I already have my notes, so what I'm looking to do, and I trade like that, guys. You don't have to have 50 monitors when you have this, and this is all free. Thinkorswim is free. You don't even need an account with money to open it. It's amazing. I mean, you know, it does have a lot of bugs, but shit, it's free. I mean, you get what you pay for. Also, somebody asked me on Twitter, just so I don't forget, is how do you add my fib indicator? So so literally, if you copy, let me go back here. If you copy my auto fibs link, you're gonna get everything that you see here. You're gonna get these 4 charts just the way I have them, with my previous day's close price indicator, with all of this. You're gonna get the TTM squeeze indicator, the unusual volume indicator. You're gonna get all this, all right, because it's set that way, all right. And the way you do it is there's a setup button up here. You click on setup, you go to open share space item, you copy that link, you paste it here, you click preview. Let me see if I can do it now. I'll be there in 1 second. All right. So you go to copy, and you go to you just paste it here, Control V, and there you go, and you hit preview, and then there it is, and then you just open it, you know, and then it opens it. That's how you do it, guys. That's how you do it. All right, guys. So it's that simple. If you don't have the answers, guys, no disrespect, Google it. I mean, Google it. You can find it on Google. It shouldn't be difficult. Go to Thinkorswim website. All right. So hope you find this helpful. Hope you guys are banking. Guys, remember, study hard. Everything's based off key support and resistance levels. You don't need to, you know, invest in gurus. I mean, I'm not against them. I just think that, you know, they're always trying to upsell you. Even the ones who say, oh, I started a service because I was tired of people ripping other people off. Then you pay for their service, and then they're trying to affiliate market you with other products and sell you other products, and then you know, it's bullshit. So just be mindful of that, right, guys? So have a good weekend, and like, subscribe, and leave comments, guys. All right, have a great day.